Hello. On Monday, the 13th of April 2020, we saw an announcement from Kevin Anderson, the New South Wales State Minister for Better Regulation and Innovation, and Dominic Perrottet, the New South Wales State Treasurer, in regard to a support package for landlords and tenants who were impacted as a result of the COVID-19 pandemic. I'm Jo Natoli, the Principal of the Rental Specialists, and since that announcement was made, we've been inundated with questions from landlords and tenants about what it all means and how they're impacted. So we've been breaking it down with a few simple Q&A videos. This is our third Q&A session, and today's question is, how will the Tribunal deal with an eviction application if my tenant isn't paying rent or we can't compromise on a temporary arrangement? Now, during the moratorium period, you remember that's that 6-month period that started on the 15th of April. Landlords and tenants, if they can't reach an agreement about temporary rent deferments, landlords and tenants will be forced into a negotiation and mediation process. A matter between a landlord and tenant won't end up at the Tribunal until all other forced mediation pathways through New South Wales fair trading have been exhausted. Both landlords and tenants can make an application to the Tribunal. When the Tribunal is dealing with an application relating to a termination notice or a termination order, it may consider a number of things when making a determination. The Tribunal will take on board any advice provided by New South Wales Fair Trading relating to the participation of the landlord or the impacted tenant in the formal rent negotiation process, and this will include whether either party has refused a reasonable offer about rent or refused to make a reasonable offer about rent. The Tribunal will take on board whether the tenant has continued to make any payments towards rent, and this is why we're advising tenants that they must continue to pay their rent during the negotiations. The Tribunal will consider the nature of any financial hardship experienced by the landlord or by the tenant, including the general financial position of each party. So, when a party makes certain claims about their financial situation, then it has to be accurate information, because if you end up in front of the Tribunal, and hopefully you don't, then you'll need to provide that information. And if you haven't been truthful, or if the information hasn't been accurate, then that could well go against you in a hearing. The Tribunal may also consider the availability and affordability of reasonable alternative accommodation for the tenant and any special vulnerability of the tenant. And finally, the Tribunal could also consider public health objectives, such as ensuring citizens remain in their homes and preventing all avoidable movement of people. Also, the regulations state that the Tribunal isn't limited to considering only those points when hearing a matter and arriving at a decision. Now, remember in our last video, we mentioned that the parties need to be acting in good faith. This is when your previous negotiations and acts of good faith will either help you or harm you. Now, in our next Q&A, we're going to talk about evictions that are not related to the non-payment of rent. If you'd like any further information about this topic or any other topic relating to your investment property in New South Wales, feel free to be in touch with us. You can call us, you can email us, you can visit our website, and you can even check out all of our other videos on YouTube. Take care.